Okay, so today I'm talking to Adam Mason, who is the Director General of trade body CEDA. I'm seeing how the association is helping the UK catering equipment industry battle through the coronavirus crisis. So welcome, Adam. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So first of all, why did CEDA join up with the FEA, CEDAbond and NSER to form a cross-sector working group in the face of the coronavirus pandemic?
Well, I was looking back through my diary, and obviously the last kind of month has been crazy. It was actually on Monday, March the 16th, that I first picked up the phone to Keith and suggested that the sector, the wider industry, but our respective memberships would benefit from a joined up and united approach to representation and lobbying on this particular issue. It's important to consolidate resource, to consolidate expertise on one hand, but on the other hand, talking as a collective and representing as a collective means that you're more likely to get heard, your message is stronger, and naturally at times like this that is more important than ever. So suggested that to Keith, who was in agreement, and later that afternoon actually had an email from the team at CEDAbond to say, look, you know, what can we do together collectively, independently of that initial conversation. We then extended the invitation to NC to ensure that the effort that we were all making was maximised, but also the dissemination of information was reaching as wide a channel as possible. Our operator and customer base had effectively shut down or was in the process of being shut down at that point. And the knock-on effects to the supply chain were going to be significant. And therefore, the activity that we undertook was to, again, consolidate facts, figures, information, and put them into formal letters to the Chancellor, to the Treasury, letters to the Education Minister, and then communication with various and numerous government departments, the CBI, organisations like Build UK, like UK Hospitality, to, in the latter case, say, look, we're supporting you, we're behind you, how can we help your effort? But also, let's have some recognition that there's a huge supply chain that relies on you and you rely on. You
mentioned that you've written to the government on a few different issues. So can you recap what those are and what the upshot of your appeals have been?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the first instance, this was all prior to the various announcements of measures that have been subsequently made by the Chancellor in terms of we were looking at a reverse PAYE scheme to be set up, and obviously the furloughing scheme is what was delivered, that I know a number of members and partners and a number of other organisations in the industry have taken advantage of to save jobs in the immediate case, but also to provide an element of liquidity and cash flow as the payments from furlough start to come in. Our latest requests are a recognition of the supply chain. There's a lot of special measures that have been put in place for the hospitality, leisure and retail industries. But we need to come out of this the other side with a supply chain in place to support these. And so we'd like to see things like the business rates holidays for the 2020 and 21 tax year extended to the supply chains of those industries. And we'd also like to see more access to cash grants rather than cash loans. And where that's possible, let's do it immediately. Where it's not possible, let's look to improve access to the loans that are available, that businesses are prepared to take out. Our collective efforts as industry associations is one thing, but we've actually just this morning put together a letter to send out to our members and partners, and we'll be distributing it to the other bodies as well, to say, send this to your MP, send this to your local MP, because the greater the collective voice that can go out, the better. And we've had a good number of members coming back already to say, actioned, and we'll keep you up to date with progress. Another element
Excellent.
that we're focusing on is insurance policies, and where companies have policies that cover notifiable diseases, though doesn't specifically state COVID-19. And of course, when these policies were taken out, why would it? That the insurance industry should be looking at this with a damn sight more seriousness than they have been, and indeed government pressure should come to bear on elements like that as well.
What results have you yielded as a collective voice so far?
Well, we'd like to think that we've had success in our collective requests, and it isn't our industry sending a letter, oh, that looks interesting, we'll do it. It's the joined up process, not just within this industry, but within the wider industry, i.e. communications with the likes of UK Hospitality and other end user operator focused associations and bodies, but also collectively through a number of trade association networks that we're a part of, the Trade Association Forum, member-wise, organisations like this, where our collective efforts have brought about the most unprecedented package of business support measures that have ever been seen. They recognise, the government recognise the gravity and the severe gravity of this situation, and have acted accordingly. But they act accordingly because of pressure that's being put on them by various trade bodies.
What are the biggest concerns of the CEDA members?
Our immediate focus turned to business support. How can we provide support for our members at this time? And so we've been sending, in some cases daily, emails out, updating them on the latest information that's coming out about business finance packages, about the job retention scheme, and not just the headlines, but the detail behind it as well. What does this mean specifically for you? Contractual advice for those operating in the construction sector, things like that, which are really, really important. But probably the biggest and most immediate thing we did was launch an emergency HR support service for members. And we've engaged with a third-party consultant to deliver this, but B, invested in it ourselves to ensure that members have a minimum of 1 hour's free email and telephone guidance and support. We've hosted HR support webinars for members as well, which have been very well received. We've drafted guidance documents and policy documents. And to give you an example of a few, home working risk assessment, a health and wellbeing policy, an infectious diseases policy covering COVID-19, a mental health wellness action plan, and also an FAQ document relating specifically to furlough. A specific action that we've taken is the production and reintroduction in some instances of technical guidance documents, specifically relating to commercial kitchens, the decommissioning paper that we produce that's been widely spread, widely shared, and we know also widely used in the industry, not just by members, but also by operators as well. Our focus is moving to people, because we think and feel that that's really important as well. So in addition to the webinars that we've done on HR support, we're going to be doing a series of webinars for members covering a variety of health and safety topics, a variety of marketing topics, a variety of technical topics, and then also bringing partners and members together for sales and technical training sessions as well, done virtually. Just today, we've launched something else called Members Connected, which is providing members the opportunity to participate in hosted video calls, probably half a dozen max, where they can talk and discuss about the challenges that they've been through over the last few weeks. They can talk about how they see the future. I think work has already begun. We've issued papers today, which may be getting ahead of the game, but they've actually been requested by people, which is how do you switch on a commercial kitchen? So we've done the decommissioning bit. It's okay, what checks from a technical point of view do you need to put in place when turning back on? It's fair to say that it's tough and it's hard and it's challenging, but a lot of members are coming back to us. First of all, messages of thanks for what we're doing, which is lovely to hear, great to hear.
Excellent.
We're doing our job, and this is where trade associations earn their corn when times are hard, and there's much more to come, both from us, but also I think from the collective representative effort that we have as well.
Okay.
And we're also starting to hear, I wouldn't even call them positives, because I wouldn't be that patronizing to people to call them positives, but people are getting inquiries, people are working on designs and projects. We've got a number of incredibly committed engineers, installation and service engineers that are out there working today in essential kitchens. Can't praise them enough, and the businesses that they work for enough for what they're doing. And again, we've put out on social media our thanks to them, as well as to obviously the frontline key workers in the NHS and care homes and retail. And there's a huge amount of resolve there, and those that are pragmatic, and those that are realistic, and those that are putting things in place to mitigate a few weeks and a couple of months of really, 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 really hard times. They will come out the other end, and this sector will survive, and it will thrive, and there'll be a lot of businesses that come out better for it. Look at what we've come through together and how we've supported each other in those times, and now let's go out and grow and return to profitability and grow jobs and grow the industry.
Excellent. I think that's about it for today then. Thank you very much for joining us, Adam. Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you very much, and stay safe.